Hi, welcome to English Composition. I'm Michael Chang, and I'm here today with Cher Chen.
各位同学，大家好，欢迎回来英文作文课程，我是 Cher。
So today in Unit 4, we will learn about how to start an essay by learning what to put into an introductory paragraph.
好，在这个单元之中呢，我们将借由学习该如何撰写开头的引言段落，来了解怎么样才能够写作一篇短文。
Right, so my favorite relative from Unit 3 was the first essay that was introduced to you in this composition course. So it has 3 body paragraphs in the middle of the essay that were similar in form to the paragraphs that you wrote in the first semester of this course. However, the first paragraph and the last paragraph of that essay were quite different.
好，我们在在第3个单元之中，我们曾经看过我最喜欢的亲戚这篇文章。那这是这堂作文课所看到的第一篇所谓的短文哦。那其中这是3个主体段落的形式，和第1个学期写作过的练习是非常的相似的。不过，也许各位同学会发现，第1段和最后1段的却是大大的不相同哦。
And that's because these 2 paragraphs have special roles. And so the first paragraph of an essay is like an expansion of the topic sentence of a paragraph, and the last paragraph of an essay is like an expansion of the concluding sentence in an essay.
好，那这是因为呢，在这2个段落中在短文里面各有它特殊的作用。像第1个段落就是段落中所谓的主题句它的延伸，那最后一个段落呢，则像是一般的段落中最后一句结尾句的延伸。
And so today we are going to take a closer look at the introductory paragraph.
好，我们今天呢会在这个单元之中，我们来看看所谓的开头引言的介绍段落。
All right, now for a basic introductory paragraph, we have 4 goals to accomplish.
好，对于一个单纯的这个开头引言来说呢，我们有4个要达成的目标。
All right, and these goals are 1, to help your reader understand the topic of the essay.
好，第1点，帮助读者能够了解本文的主题。
2, to tell your exact position on the topic of the essay.
好，第2点，表明你对这个主题清楚的立场。
3, to preview or outline the essay.
第3点，提示全文或是呈现这篇文章的大纲。
And 4, to attract your readers.
第4点，去吸引读者的注意力。
All right, so now let's explain these ideas in greater detail. And first, let's explain how the introductory paragraph helps your reader to understand the topic of the essay better.
好，我们接下来呢会把这4个重点再一个一个的去讲述。那首先我们先来看看第1个重点，刚刚提到的帮助读者去了解本文的立场。
All right, so now to help your readers understand the topic better, this means that you should provide some background information to help your readers understand your point of view on the topic.
好，所谓呢帮助你的读者去了解这篇文章是指的是你必须要提供一些相关的背景资讯，来帮助你的读者去理解这个主题的相关的资讯。
And so what you need to consider are whether there's any information that your reader does not know, but will be helpful in understanding the general topic better.
好，那这个你应该考量的呢是这些资讯是否是读者所不了解，但是如果了解了，会有助于了解这个主题的。
So for example, in the writing model, an important piece of background information is the size of the writer's family.
好，举例来说呢，在我们这个写作范例这篇文章里头，非常重要的关于的背景资讯呢，应该是讲到这个作者他家里家庭的大小。
Okay, let's take a look at our writing model now.
好，我们现在来看一下我们这个写作范例哦。
My favorite relative.
我最喜欢的亲戚。
I come from a really big family. Both my mother and father have 4 siblings. On holidays, when the whole family gets together, it's hard to keep track of all the aunts and uncles and cousins running around the house.
我来自于一个非常大的家庭，我的妈妈跟爸爸都各自有4个兄弟姐妹。到假日的时候，整个家庭都会聚集在一起那会变得非常困难去分辨每一个阿姨、叔叔，甚至是表哥表姐、堂哥堂姐们。
But among all my relatives, there is one that really stands out. My Uncle William. He is a very unusual man.
但是在这众多的亲戚之中，只有一个是特别突出的，就是我的威廉叔叔。他是一个非常不一样的人。
All right, so now let's examine some of the background material that we see at the beginning of this paragraph.
好，接下来我们来根据这个写作的范例，我们来看一看他使用的一些方式。
And so we can see this introductory paragraph gives information on the size of the writer's family, and we find out that the writer has 8 aunts or uncles and that there are many cousins.
好，我们在这个写作范例中，我们发现啊，他提供了关于这个作者家庭的人口多少的资讯。那我们会发现，这个作者他本身总共有8个阿姨及叔叔，还有很多的表哥表姐、堂哥堂姐们。
All right, and so this phrase, "it's hard to keep track of," shows that there are so many relatives on holidays that it can get confusing.
好，所以在这个地方，句子哦提到说很难去认识这其中每一个人哦。那这地方呢，当然就显示出来说有多少的亲戚了。
And so this background material is helpful because if the readers know that the author comes from a very large family, they will understand that Uncle William is even more special because he stands out, even if he's in a large group of people.
好，我们在这地方呢，这个背景资讯之所以非常重要哦，是因为如果说我们知道读者知道作者有这么多的亲戚啊，那他们就更容易去明白说为什么威廉叔叔在这是显得非常的特别，因为在这么多为数众多的人里面呢，还是只有威廉叔叔是独自是这样子凸显出来的。
All right, now another way to help your readers understand a topic better is to give information about what is already known about that topic.
好，另外一种能够帮助读者去明白这个主题的办法呢，是提供一些本来就应该知道的资讯。
And so, for example, if you wanted to write a paper about a special type of animal communication, you could start by explaining some of the key information or the key history of the field or some of the key discoveries in the field.
好，举例来说呢，如果你现在想要写一篇关于动物沟通的文章哦，你可以在文章的一开始先解释一下这个领域的一些相关的历史背景啊，以及一些主要的发现。
All right, and so now we are going to look at an introductory paragraph that shows what is already known about a topic.
好，我们接下来来看一个例子哦。这个例子呢，就会告诉我们说，怎么样叫做说先提供一些所谓已经知道的资讯。
And so we can see this paragraph on page 52 of your textbook.
好，以下我们会看到这个例子呢，在您的课本上52页。
And so as we look at this, we're not going to read it right now, but Cheryl will just explain what this paragraph is talking about.
好，我们现在这个段落呢，我先为各位同学简介一下这段落在讲什么啊。他提到的是说，长期以来人类一直被认为是唯一一个会使用语言的物种。那人们会觉得动物们他们的所谓的沟通哦，其实只是一种对声音的反应，而并不是真正的试图要传达有意义的想法。比如说呢，当我们有时候会看到哦，有鸟当它碰见那个老鹰的时候，它就会发出一些怪叫声。那因为它的叫声很奇怪，所以会引得其他的鸟跟着一起飞走。但事实上呢，根据研究，我们会发现说，这个叫声并不是只是因为这只鸟感觉到很害怕，它受到惊吓，所以才会发出叫声，并不是因为说它想要试图去叫它的同伴说赶快走啊，赶快走啊。然后，但我们却发现呢，跟猴子啊，这些人猿做一些研究之后，就科学家会发现说，其实人猿他们是懂得使用语言的。那像猩猩啊、人猿啊，都能够借由一些手语的方式来了解人类的一些对话。
All right, so now we can see that in this paragraph, there's lots of information about some of the past views that scientists had about how animals communicated.
好，我们从这段落中会发现哦，它提供了一些这个过去的看法哦，关于人们怎么样去思考说，那动物会不会对话的这些看法。
And now by understanding this past view, we can understand how the ways that apes use language is different and unique.
好，我们借由了解这些过去的一些看法呢，我们就会知道为什么这些猿猴啊，他们会懂得会去对话，是多么的特别了。
All right, now a third way that you can help your readers understand a topic better is by giving information on the different sides of an issue. And so, for example, you could explain some of the arguments on the opposing side before you explain your position on an issue.
好，第3点呢，你可以借由提供关于主题另外 另外一个方面的论述哦，来帮助你的读者去了解这个主题。比如说呢，在你开始解释你对于本主题的看法之前，你可以先解释一些相反立场的看法。
All right, so now let's take a look at an introductory paragraph that has the different sides of an issue.
好，我们接下来看一个例子哦，这例子就可以显示出什么叫做借由另一方面的论述哦，来帮助了解主题。
Some people believe that the world would be better off without automobiles.
有些人相信这世界没有汽车的话会变得更好。
They argue that a world without cars would be safer since you would no longer have to worry about traffic accidents and drunk drivers.
好，他们觉得这世界会变得更加的安全，因为你不需要再去担心这路上的一些交通的车祸或者是一些酒醉的驾驶。
The world would also be less polluted since all the air pollution from auto exhaust and the noise pollution from honking horns and loud engines would disappear.
好，这世界也会变得污染也会降低，因为这从汽车的废气所散发出来的空气污染会减少，还有借由那些明暗喇叭或者是引擎的声音而造成的这些噪音污染也会因此而消失。
However, cars do provide a benefit to society. They make travel more convenient, they connect people together, and they spur innovation and technological breakthroughs.
啊，然而呢，汽车的确是对这个社会造成了一些正面的影响，它让我们的交通更加的便利，而且能够把人们紧紧的连接在一起。同时，它也激励了一些创新以及工业发展的突破。
Right, so we can see that this paragraph begins by showing some reasons why people might believe that automobiles have hurt society, but then it finishes with a thesis statement that outlines the counter-arguments that cars are actually beneficial to society.
好，我们借由这个例子呢，我们会发现哦，在一开始的地方，他先讲述了为什么人们觉得汽车对这个社会是不好的。那接下来呢，到了主旨论述的部分，他才又提出这个反面的看法，说明这个汽车是对这社会是有益处的。
Right, so now by putting an opposing viewpoint into the introduction, the writer will have some ideas to attack later in the paper. And attacking and disproving these opposition ideas can make your own ideas seem stronger.
好，借由呢把这些反面的一些想法先提出来哦，那在接下来的文章之中，作者就可以借由去反驳这些反面论点的方式，去证实他的论点是更可信的。
All right, let's take a little break now. We will be back with more English composition in a few moments. Welcome back. Now let's talk about the second and third goals that we want to accomplish with our introductory paragraph.
好，欢迎各位同学又回来。我们现在要继续往下看哦，来看看第二个跟第三个我们要达成的目标。
Right, our second goal is to tell our exact position on the topic of the essay.
好，我们的第二个目标呢是要表明我们对这个主题的立场。
To tell your exact position on the topic of the essay means that you should write your thesis statement into your introductory paragraph. And your thesis statement should be a clear and concise statement of what you want your readers to know by the end of the essay.
好，这表达清楚的立场这件事呢，指的是你应该要在开头引言的部分中写出你所谓的主旨叙述。主旨叙述呢，指的是能够清楚、简洁的表达出你希望读者在结尾前所知道的一些事情哦的这个句子。
Right, our third goal is to preview or outline the essay.
好，我们的第三个目标呢，是希望能够提示全文或者是呈现它的大纲。
Right, to preview or outline the essay means that you tell the major points that you're going to make in the essay. And this is like a very brief summary of what is in the rest of the essay. And this preview has three purposes.
好，我们说这个提示全文的部分哦，指的是你会说出短文中将会出现的一些重点哦，那就像是非常简短的摘要一样哦，你要说出来这篇文章其他的段落会提到的一些事项。这样的提示呢，会包括以下的三个作用。
All right, the first is that it helps you to organize the essay.
好， 好，第一个重点能够帮助你去组织这篇短文。
So the body paragraphs of your essay should follow in the same order as the ideas that are previewed in your introductory paragraph. And so this keeps you on track as you write the rest of your essay.
好，第一点这个部分呢，帮助组织你的短文哦，指的是说每一个主体段落出现的顺序应该和第一个开头段落里头所提示的是一样的，这能够帮助你掌握文中其他段落的进度。
Second, it gives prior knowledge about your topic to your reader.
第二点，能够给予你的读者优先该知道的资料。
So it's always easier to understand the topic if you'd learned something about it in the past.
好，如果呢你的读者心中已经先有了一些关于背景的一些概念的话，他能够比较容易的去了解主题要讨论的东西是什么。
And sometimes the topic of an essay may be very difficult. It might be something that your reader had no exposure to in the past. But if you preview all the major points that you're going to make in your introduction, it gives your readers just a little bit of help in understanding what's going to come up in the body of your essay.
好，有时候你这个短文的主题可能会相当的艰涩哦，可能是读者过去从来没有接触过的。那如果你在开头的这个引言段落之中呢，先提示这些读者哦一些关于短文中相关主题的一些背景资讯，就有助于读者在接下来的文章之中去理解。
All right, so now let's talk about the third purpose for putting a preview in your thesis statement, and that's so that your readers can judge if your essay is relevant.
好，那我们接下来来看一下，如果说在你的首段的这个段落中提出了所谓的先提示全文的方式呢，就可以帮助你的读者去判断接下来的文章中是不是有相关。
Right, so sometimes people are looking for specific information when they read an essay or a report, and having a preview of the main ideas of your essay helps these people to judge whether they should take the time to read the rest of your essay.
有些时候呢，读者会去阅读你的文章，是为了要得到一些资讯。那借由从你的开头引言的段落中先获得所谓的提示哦，那他们就会知道这篇文章跟他们想要得到的东西是否相关，也会决定是否要继续往下看。
Right, now let's take a look at some examples of thesis statements.
好，接下来呢，来看一些关于主旨叙述的一些例子。
So in the writing model, this is our thesis statement.
这是在我们的写作范例中的主旨叙述哦。
I think that he is odd because of the way he looks and the way he acts, but he is still my favorite relative.
好，这个句子说呢，我觉得他很奇怪哦，因为他的行为跟他的外表，但是威廉叔叔仍然是我最喜欢的亲戚。
All right, and so this thesis statement accomplishes our second goal because it gives the exact position of the writer on the topic when it states, Uncle William is still my favorite relative.
好，这个主旨叙述呢，它达到了我们刚刚所谓提到第二个目标哦，也就是能够点出这个作者对于主题的确实的立场。
And it also accomplishes our third goal because it organizes the rest of the essay by listing the order of the points that the writer will cover.
那同时，它也达到了我们刚刚提到的第三个目标，也就是呢，它借由架设好这个架构好文章接下来的理路来条列出作者等一下会讨论的内容。
And so we can see it's going to first go over the way he looks, then after that, the way he acts, and then finally how he is the writer's favorite relative.
好，我们可以发现，他接下来会讨论的顺序应该是会讲到他的外貌，接下来讲到他的行为，以及为什么他是我最喜欢的亲戚的原因。
Right, now let's take a look at the last two sentences of our second introductory paragraph about animal communication.
好，我们现在来看一下，我们刚刚也讲到这个关于动物沟通的这篇文章，我们来看一下这篇文章它的这开头的引言部分。
It says, however, work with apes shows that some animals do have the ability to use languages. Chimpanzees and gorillas have the ability to comprehend human speech and communicate through sign languages.
好，我们会发现呢，这个人猿呢，他们也会表现出来，他们具有能够使用语言的能力，像是猿类这个猴子或者是猩猩他们都有能力去理解人类的语言，以及他们可以利用这个手语的方式来进行沟通。
And so we can see that these sentences also accomplish our second and third goals for an introductory paragraph.
我们会发现呢，这个段落也达成我们刚刚所谓的第2个及第3个的目标。
And so the phrase, some animals do have the ability to use language, shows the writer's exact position on the topic of animal communication.
好，我们看到这个句子说，有一些动物它的确是具有能力可以使用语言。这句话呢，就表达了作者他明确的立场。
And then the last sentence shows that the essay will have 2 body paragraphs.
好，那最后一个句子则点出来，我们这篇短文呢会有2个这个主体段落。
And so the first body paragraph will be about how chimpanzees and gorillas can comprehend human speech. And the second body paragraph will be about how they can communicate through sign language.
好，我们可以预想到，第一个主体段落讲的会是这个猴子跟猩猩呢，他们是怎么样去了解人类的语言。那第2个主体段落则会去讨论他们是怎么样透过手语的方式来进行沟通的。
All right, and then our last example paragraph about automobiles also shows the exact position of the writer.
好，我们刚刚看到的第3个这个写作范例哦，它也表现出来了这个作者很明确的立场。
And so we can tell that the writer's viewpoint is that cars do benefit society.
我们可以很清楚的看到，作者觉得汽车的确是对社会是有助益的。
And so then this allows us to quickly decide if we're interested in reading the rest of the essay.
那这一个句子呢，点出来之后，也可以决定哦，我们是否能够快速的把这篇文章看完。
And so then also in addition, the last sentence of the introductory paragraph tells us the writer's 3 major arguments.
好，那在接下来的文章之中呢，则点出了作者接下来会讲到的3个主要的论点。
And so we can see that this organizes the essay and it also previews what the writer's arguments are.
好，我们会发现呢，这样子一个主体段落，它既把它的这个立场点出来，那也把接下来会讨论的论点都点出来了。
All right, let's take another break now. We will be back with more English composition momentarily. Welcome back. Let's talk about our 4th and last goal that we want to accomplish in our introductory paragraph.
好，欢迎各位同学回来。我们现在讨论的是最后一个我们刚刚提到的第4点的目标。
All right, and our 4th goal is to attract our readers.
好，我们刚刚讲到第4点的目标呢，就是要吸引读者的注意。
All right, so now to attract your reader means that you want your readers to feel like your essay is interesting.
好，所谓的吸引读者的注意呢，也就是希望读者能够觉得文章是很有趣的。
And so you want to say something that will motivate your readers to continue reading the rest of your essay. And so you need to consider what is important to the reader.
好，你希望呢能够使读者有这个动机哦，可以继续读你文章里头其他的段落。所以呢，你必须要想一想，什么是对读者来说是重要的。
All right, for example, is there some important or controversial issue that your reader is interested in?
啊，比如说呢，有没有什么样主要这个重要的或具有争议性的话题，能够去吸引你的读者呢？
And so if there is, you can create interest in your readers by letting them know that you're going to give a comment or you're going to tell your opinion about that special topic.
如果有的话呢，你可以借由这个告诉读者说，我会在接下来的文章去讨论，提出我的看法，来吸引你的读者继续往下阅读。
Or else you can create interest if there's some kind of special topic or there's something interesting, helpful, or unusual that you know about.
同时呢，另外一个方式是你可以去提供一些好玩的、有趣的或不寻常的事情。
So then you can teach that to your readers. Or if you have a special relationship with your readers and you want to deepen that relationship, you can share something significant or some kind of personal experience that you have to let the readers know you better.
好，那你也可以呢，传授一些经验给读者所知道哦。或者你想更加深你跟读者之间的关系的话，你也大可以与读者去分享你一些本身特别的经验，让他们更加的了解你。
All right, so now let's take a look at some strategies that you can use to attract attention in your introductory paragraph.
好，以下我们来看一些能够帮助你吸引读者注意的一些策略。
All right, our first strategy is you can state a surprising fact or statistic.
好，第一点呢，你能够这个发表令人惊讶的事实或是数据。
All right, our second strategy is you can use an anecdote.
好，第二点呢，指的是你可以加入一些名人的轶事哦，一些有趣的事迹。
Another strategy is you can use a quotation or a proverb.
第三点，你可以加入一些名言或者是谚语。
Another thing that you can do is you can begin with a question.
好，第四点呢，是以问题作为开头。
You can also make a controversial statement in your introductory paragraph.
除此之外呢，你也可以提出一些争议性的陈述哦，来当做你的开头。
Or else another strategy is you can start with some general information and then finish with a question.
好，那另外一种方式呢，是以一本大体性的概括性的讯息来作为开始，然后以一个问题来作为结束。
So in all of these strategies, you explain what is significant about the fact, the story, the question, or the statement.
好，那在这些技巧之中呢，你当然还要解释这些事实啊、故事啊、问题啊，甚或是陈述它的重要性。
And so then this will lead into your thesis statement, which should tell your viewpoint about the fact or the question or the statement.
那这样子做法呢，能够引导出你的主旨陈述哦，并且陈述出来你的观点。
So now, in review, when you begin writing your introduction, the most basic strategy is to start with a general statement. You start with some information about the general background of the topic.
好，总结而言呢，当你开始撰出最初的这个引言的时候呢，最基本的技巧就是以一般概括性的陈述哦来作为开始，那再以一些这个关于主题的背景资讯呢来作为这个补充。
Right, and then the next sentence or sentences narrows down your topic into something smaller and more specific.
然后呢，再加入一些句子哦，来逐步缩小这主题的范围，让主题变得更加的具体而且明确。
Then you state the thesis of your essay, and you will often combine your thesis statement with a preview of your essay.
好，那接下来呢，提出了这个文章的主旨哦。当然，你将主旨的陈述句提出来的时候，可以和全文的一些重点啊、一些提示来做一个连接。
And so in this type of introduction, your thesis statement will appear at the end of your introductory paragraph, and you can see that the introductory paragraph in the writing model follows this sample.
啊，你会发现呢，在这一类型的引言之中哦，主旨的陈述将会出现在首段的最后面啊。那像我们写作范例中的例子呢，就是使用这个技巧。
Okay, and finally, there are some mistakes to avoid.
哦，最后呢，还有一些重要的地方，请各位同学要避免呢。
And so the first thing is, do not say too much in your introduction.
好，第一点，在你的这个开头介绍的段落呢，不要写太多。
And so you should just give a brief preview of your major ideas. You should not give all of the details. You should not give all the details to all your arguments.
啊，你只要给一个简短的关于你各项重点的大提示就可以了，不需要详细的去解释每一个论点。
All right, and also do not start by writing, my topic is, or I'm going to write about.
好，第二点，千万不要以这种我的主题是，或者是我将要写的是这样的句子来作为开头。
All right, let's talk about your homework now. For your homework, review the material in this unit and do the writing analysis exercise, and then go on and do the writing activity.
好，这礼拜各位同学回去的作业呢，是再复习一下这一课所讲述的内容，然后写一下写作分析的练习，以及完成写作活动的部分。
All right, thanks for joining us this week for English composition. We will be back again next week.
好，谢谢各位的加入，我们下个礼拜会再继续。